Hey followers, so as I said I was going to do something a little bit bolder this week. I've attempted this a couple times and reading straight off the screen, it doesn't work very well. So what I'm kind of doing is going to kind of paraphrase everything and do it that way. I think that fits a little bit better. It's more personable. It's not as conflicting with the words on the screen and what I'm trying to say. I mean, I'm hoping that everybody's reading the actual blog. Some of them are short, 1,000 characters. Some of them are rather large. So when I first started doing blogs, I was just strictly going to do movie reviews because I feel most comfortably talking about films. Mainly because I do have the film degree in my background, and I spent a lot of time watching movies, talking about movies, studying the film format. A long time ago, I wanted to be a director. I still do, but I'm going towards the writing aspect because I can stop, I can pick it back up. There's no time crunches. I can think about what I want to say and not bumble over my words. So without further ado, we're going to talk about the film Disconnect in 2012. It was written by Andrew Stern and directed by Henry Alex Rubin. You can find it on YouTube. You can probably find it on Netflix, or you can illegally download it. I highly recommend watching it. It's a really, really good film about social media. Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. It's told from 4 different points of view, 4 different stories that kind of intertwine itself. You have a news reporter doing research on underage sex webcams. You have a former Marine and his wife who are dealing with the death of their infant son, and someone steals their identity, takes all their money. You have 2 boys that make a fake profile and distribute it on Facebook and try to convince a musical savant teenage boy who is kind of like to himself. He's kind of introvert, and they convince him to take a nude picture of himself and send it to the girl, the fake girl, and the kids distributed all through the high school. With him being so embarrassed, he tries to hang himself, and his older sister finds him, and he's in a coma. I like this movie for a lot of reasons. Being into social networking, I've been doing social networking since it was being called social networking. Facebook came out and everybody started using Facebook as their go-to social networking. Now you have Instagram, now you have Snapchat, now you have Periscope. You have all these different sites or apps now that you could use to do social networking. But it's the same thing, the same concept as it was in 1998. I mean, you're still talking to a complete stranger that you may or may not know anything about. What made Facebook so superior is when it first started coming out, it was really, really basic. It had a couple tools that you could use, and it was great. When they started really incrementing the whole social networking thing into our societies, when Facebook started going downhill, when they started adding all the banner ads and all the sponsored ads, and you can make money off Facebook. You can create your own business page on Facebook. You can do this, you can do that on Facebook. That was all geared for e-commerce money. And it got away from the whole idea of talking to people and learning and having great conversations. Facebook used to be about meeting new people, making new connections, along with catching up with family members and old friends from the growing up days in the high schools. All of a sudden, that was frowned upon. Now it was pretty much over a 3-month period about expanding your inner circles. Now the only real way to meet new people was through mutual friends. If you added someone completely random and did that too many times, Facebook would flag you as a spammer and suspend your account. And they still do that. I mean, they're pretty active on that. If you just start adding random people to your Facebook account, you will get a message from Facebook saying, don't do that anymore. If you start using certain types of languages or phrases, you were suspended. If you talk too much about politics in a negative way, they will suspend your account. It hasn't happened to me because I'm not very political, but I know friends it's happened to. Over the past few years, Facebook has made it nearly impossible to meet new people based on age, location, sex, interests. Instead of having a take on a subject, now you had a take and everyone's friends and social friends would comment on it. One could no longer have an opinion without it turning into a Facebook war, or some sort of bullying would start. All this is relevant to the subject of the film. So they've gone and replaced the Yahoo, AOL, and MySpaces with very specific types of social networking. I mean, you still have Facebook as the probably the best one out there, but now they have the dating sites, and the dating sites they're separated by your creed, race. In the film, they have a site for grief, and it's the same setup. bio, chat, webcam chatting, picture sharing, live stream. It's basically like any other website except for it's specifically for people going through some kind of major grief. The Marine and the wife lose their infant son, and that's how they are using, the wife is using the grief site to try to get through it because her husband and her don't communicate very well. The movie deals with the darker sides of how this process works. This is the great thing about this film is that it talks about, the whole movie's about social networking, but it's all about the dark sides of it. It's all about the sex scams and the money scams and the taking of your identity and cyberbullying. There's nothing positive about the way the internet is portrayed in this film, and that's what I love about it, is that you get to see firsthand what happens when it goes really left field. I mean, I'm sure some of you have had really bad experiences with the internet over the years and social networking over the years. I'm sure it's happened, and you don't want to talk about it. I get that. But these are the extreme cases of when things go really south. Yeah, this movie's a gem. You get to see Jason Bateman in a drama, and he doesn't really do a lot of drama acting. He's mainly a comic relief guy, and he's great. I mean, I always like Jason Bateman. I think he's funny as hell. But man, to see him in a dramatic appearance is really cool. You really feel for his character going through what his son has to deal with and trying to commit suicide. The reporter, she's one of those typical blonde, very attractive, middle-aged, maybe late 20s, maybe early 30s, and she actually falls for the 18-year-old guy. But she's so indecisive with her decision making that she ends up being the bad guy. The Marine and the wife are in bad shape. I mean, they're staying away from each other and doing weird things on the side to try to cover and mask their pain for their loss of their son. Instead of communicating and working as a team to rebuild their relationship, they've basically gone their separate ways, but yet are still together. It's kind of really bizarre to see that unfold on screen. Everyone seems to have the information to do the right thing, but they're so involved in their own little bullshit stuff that they can't make the right decision. And that's something that I think in movie land that happens. In real life, I don't know. It's up to you people. If you're getting beat up by your boyfriend, that's a really good example of, I have enough information for me to get my shit and get the hell out, or call the police, or get some kind of help. Not to sit there and take it and keep going through the same process over and over and over again, expecting a different result. That's called insanity. One of the underlying themes in this film that I really thought was great was accountability. People are no longer accountable for their words. Anyone, and I mean anyone, can be tough or hurtful online and not have to worry whatsoever if they have to fess up to those words. I mean, I just have no tolerance for that. I mean, I would never let somebody belittle me in person. I don't know why it's okay for someone to do it online or through your text message. I mean, I've been harassed and bullied through text message, but when it was time to face me face to face, that person was nowhere to be found. Don't let somebody talk shit to you. If they start being nasty with you, either through messenger or text, don't just ignore it. Just, you don't have to go back and forth with them, but don't stand for that. Don't ever stand for it. I mean, would you do it in person? I mean, just transition what people do online and act like if it was in person. How would you react to it? This movie was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It's really dark. It's very grown up content-wise. But if you have teenagers, watch it with them. I think you should. It might just scare them a little bit into having a little bit more respect for themselves and other people online and text message. I mean, I'm considering texting as online because it's the same thing. It deals with subject matter that things happen online and through text message that maybe you haven't had that conversation with your child yet, and maybe you should. Maybe it's time to have that conversation. I mean, if they're 13, 14, 15 and they have a cell phone and they have access to Facebook and access to this and access to that, you probably should be having these conversations with them in much more detail than just say, hey, this is what I don't want you to do, and I want to check your phone and all that. Maybe you're in a bad relationship and you want a way out. Instead of seeking help from fake Facebook friends, make a plan, buy your time, execute said plan. Rather than seeing if some stranger will listen to you, they're not listening. They're just waiting for you to make a mistake so they can manipulate you for their benefit. Internet, phone, social site, reality. It's all the same, just played by different rules. One of the most chilling lines in a movie I've ever heard still stands strong today as it was delivered in 1968 by Roddy McDowell. Beware of the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn. Alone among God's primates, he kills for sport, or lust, or greed. Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. Let him not breed in great numbers, for he will make a desert of his home and yours. Shun him, drive him back into his jungle lair, for he is the harbinger of death. Planet of the Apes, 1968. Okay, so that was the end of my first video blog, and let's see if that works out pretty well. If these are going to get pumped out, I'm going to try to do a better job at speaking. I'm not a really good speaker. I tend to get flustered if I don't have a clear message of what I want to say. Below in the notes section, you'll see links to my blog, to my like page on Facebook, to my Instagram, and basically all my social networking things that I'm trying to proceed in. I do have a Twitter account. I don't use it, so I'm not even going to bother adding Twitter because I can't talk in 140 characters. I'm sorry. Everything I do is big and bold. I talk a lot. I say a lot. I write a lot. I can't do that in short verses. So go ahead, add me, like me. Please comment on the video. If you don't like it, that's okay. I'll take constructive criticism. If you come at me like, real negative just to start a fight, I'm probably just going to delete the comment and block it because I don't have time for negative BS on this. That goes for my Facebook account too. There's a handful of people that have a problem here and there, and they just want to kind of pick a fight with me to see how I react. Hey, that's cool. I'm just going to block you. I'm not even going to deal with that bullshit. This movie's about cyberbullying, so I'm not going to tolerate any of that crap. You wouldn't do it to me in person if you saw me, so why do it online? Because you can hide behind it. So we're not going to play that game. I'm glad that my blogs are inspiring people to do more. I understand a lot of these people are fitness people. I'm going to try to get more into the spiritual realm as we go along with these blogs. So I hope that everybody reads them. Take a minute. Some of them are not that long. Take 5 minutes out of your day and read something that might change the way you think or make your life better.
Okay.